This is Phoebe Green and the Locker of Destiny, written and read by me, James Dubern. Chapter 29, The Cat. Over the coming days, Chloe became a regular at Time Travel Club. It wasn't a formal process with an interview or anything like that. She just started sitting on Phoebe's bed with the others and joining in. With Megan out of the way, Chloe was quite a different person. She laughed more and quite literally let her hair down. Jessica joined in the discussions too. "I could ask my parents if they'll lend you the money to stay at Perivale," Chloe said helpfully. "Thanks," Phoebe said, "but Megan said she's going to ask your parents to get me kicked out, so I think they'll say no." The girls heard a meow outside and raced to the window. A familiar tabby cat looked up at them from the lawn. The girls spoke to it, and the cat replied, a back and forth of incomprehensible meows. "I wish we could get it up here," Alice said. "We have 2 cats at home. They're the only warm things in the house." The girls decided that going outside to pick it up would be out of the question. It was a large adult cat and too big to hide in a coat. After Phoebe's midnight excursion onto the lawn, the staff were on high alert for girls going outside on dark evenings. Phoebe had an idea. She whipped the sheet off Megan's former bed and twisted it into a thick white rope. Jade's eyes lit up. "We need another one," Phoebe said, taking off the top sheet too. The girls tied the 2 sheets together and dangled it out of the window. It reached the flower bed at the foot of the building like a white waterfall. "I don't like this," Alice said nervously. She guarded the door, peeking out every few seconds. The corridor was busy with girls wrapped in towels and carrying wash kits. Chloe reached a hand out of the window and rubbed her thumb and forefinger together. "It's sniffing the sheet," she said excitedly. "Here, kitty, kitty." The cat looked up at the girls. It even stood on its hind legs and clawed the rope ladder, but refused to climb. "We need meat," Phoebe said. "Does anyone have any meat?" "As if," Chloe said, sounding so much like her sister that Phoebe felt slightly uncomfortable. "I have a pat of butter," Jessica announced. The other girls, Phoebe, Alice, Jade and Chloe, looked at her in stunned silence. Jessica revealed a Tupperware with 3 slices of bread and 4 pats of butter. "I've been stealing them from breakfast," she explained. "I get hungry in the night sometimes." "Stop looking at me like it's surprising. I'm not a matron. I'm not. I even started eating bananas." "That's brilliant," Phoebe said. "Can we please have some butter?" They reeled in the great white fishing line, and Phoebe applied tiny smears of butter along it. She saved most of it for a reward should the daring cat make it all the way to the window. To their delight, the cat sniffed and licked the sheet. They had to grip it tightly when it pounced and hung on. Within an instant, the tabby raced up the sheet and onto the windowsill. The girls were delighted and fed it the rest of the butter as a reward. The cat was cookie brown with tiger stripes and white socks on its back legs. It was a mackerel tabby, according to Jessica. She could tell by the M-shaped markings on its head. The girls lavished attention on the curious cat, patting their beds to make it jump up. "Shall we keep it all night?" Chloe asked. "Megan's coming," Alice said. She let their former roommate in and closed the door behind her. "What's going on?" Megan asked. "You're all looking at me weirdly." She noticed the cat on the top bunk. Her twin sister beamed. "Where did you get that?" Megan demanded. "Phoebe made a ladder," Chloe said proudly. "We smeared butter on it." Megan shot Phoebe a stare. Then she noticed that the bunk bed had been ransacked. "My sheets!" Megan said. "Not really," Chloe said. "You're not in Dorm 7 anymore. Miss Parsley made up your bed in case a new person comes." "It's still my bed. I still sit on it when I visit. Anyway, you don't even like cats," Megan said. "I do," Chloe said. "You don't like cats. Not everything about us has to be the same." Megan stormed out of Dorm 7. Chloe lifted the cat and passed it to Phoebe, who gave it a hug. It seemed relaxed and lay in Phoebe's arms with its paws in the air. "So heavy," Phoebe said, rocking the cat like a baby. "I think she might be pregnant," Jessica explained. "That's probably why she's so hungry." "We need to get her out of here," Chloe said. "I'm sure my sister will tell her friends, and then Miss Parsley will get wind of it." Getting the cat to climb back down the sheet was more difficult than getting it in. Eventually, they tied yet another 2 sheets and created an enormous hammock. "It's lights out in 4 minutes," Alice said. "We should never have done this." They put the cat into the middle of the newly created sheet and it settled calmly. Phoebe and Chloe slowly lifted up the sides, as if the cat were in a shopping bag. They brought it to the window and lowered it down, keeping pace with each other so that the cat remained in the centre of the cradle. "Jolly japes, what's going on here?" asked Miss Parsley. Phoebe and Chloe were caught red-handed. They were sitting on the windowsill, each with a fistful of bedsheet. The cat hovered just above the flower bed, and Phoebe released her end to set it free. "Well," Miss Parsley said, "don't tell me you're planning to escape." The housemistress sneezed several times. Phoebe looked out the window and watched the tabby bound across the lawn towards Mr. Grayson's cottage. "We were measuring," Jessica said. Miss Parsley remained in the doorway, hands on hips. She rubbed her eyes and sneezed again. Megan and the girls from Dorm 8 stood in the hallway trying to catch a glimpse of the cat over Miss Parsley's shoulders. "We were measuring how far it is to the ground," Jessica continued. "We've been learning about how to do estimations." Chloe, the only one still holding the sheet, reeled it in. "So it's 1, 2, 2 and a bit sheets," she said. By the time she had rolled it up, the sheet had formed an enormous ball with trails of soil and butter in it. "Alice's guess was the closest. Congratulations," Phoebe said. "Good sciencing." "Me," Alice said, "but I said 2 3/4. "That's quite enough," Miss Parsley said, between sneezes. "I think the sheet must have brought pollen up from the flower bed." The girls apologized. "To bed, please," Miss Parsley said, "and put those sheets in the wash. If you want to measure things, ask me for a tape. You've created a lot of unnecessary laundry and risked your life by sitting on that windowsill. Do you understand?" Miss Parsley returned to her study, sneezing all the way. Megan remained at the door, irritated by the sight of her sheets in a soiled mess, and worse, her giggly sister giving Phoebe a high five.